Attention! And welcome to the Husker Army Podcast. With your hosts, Husker fanatic Brian Knudsen, former Husker wide receiver Kenny Cheatham, and Husker recruiting guru Matt Sass.
2nd and 5 for Nebraska. Play action pass. Looking down the middle. Marcus Washington on the catch and a big gain. The first down for the Husker offense. Johnson and Kemp in the backfield. Haarberg. It's a pass. It's Kemp. Touchdown Nebraska.
Great decisions with the ball in the run game and the pass game. You see Kemp, the hardest thing there is getting through that traffic. Some pressure showing right here.
Comes set up the screen. It's open. Slips through one. He's near the 50-yard line. First third down pickup of the game. Haarberg from the 36. They're blocking in front of him. Pushed into the outside and then dropped. They mark a soul. Able to bring him down. Haarberg to pass. He's got his man. Touchdown. And a catch is secured. Wow, what a play.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed that opening clip. If you don't watch us on YouTube, you might want to start doing so now. Get subscribed. How is it going, everybody? Fall in at attention. I am your host, Brian Knudsen. With me, as always, our other host, Mr. Kenny Cheatham, a.k.a. KC. Man, Kenny, the Husker Army Podcast is alive and kicking. I'm trying to be upbeat. I'm a little under the weather today. But we're going to get through this. As always, this is brought to you by the Husker Army Facebook fan page. Go and check them out. Great group of people. We're both a part of that as well. Man, Kenny, finally we get to talk about this, man. The Huskers get the win in Lincoln against Northern Illinois. 35-11. Should have been 35-3, but backups on the defense gave up a late touchdown and the 2-point conversion. I get the coach for Northern Illinois taking the timeouts, wanting to get points, give his guys the reps. The fans booed it, but I get it. It is what it is. Look, Haarberg gets his first start, man. Looks sharp.
Yeah, he did. Had the one turnover, but other than that, he looked sharp. It was pretty much a night and day from other games. So as far as the turnovers go, but I can't, hey, salute.
Yeah, one turnover. And like you said, I mean, that's a tough one to put on him because a blindside hit when you got the ball cocked back, 9 times out of 10, every quarterback's going to cough that up.
Yeah, it's going to fall out whenever you're in that situation and you don't see that hit coming because you're not tensing up to brace for the hit or anything like that. So it's going to get jarred out. And it happened.
Hand and arms a little bit loose because you're about to release that ball. Yep. It's just, it happens. But yeah, Haarberg, I mean, he looked great. He had an awesome night. 14 of 24 for 158 yards and 2 touchdowns. 21 carries, 98 yards, and a touchdown on the ground. I mean, look, 14 of 24. Look, a lot of people are going to look at that and be like, that's all right. 158 yards, yeah. But 2 touchdowns, and here's the most important part of that whole stat line: no interceptions, none, no mishandled snaps. He just looked ready. He looked sharp. He may not look like he has the burst of speed, or maybe not be as quick as Sims is, but by God, we saw what he could do with his legs, and it was pretty impressive. And right here, I always have a soft spot for a quarterback that is going to run and lower his head, take a hit, and deliver a hit. I loved every second of it. He didn't shy away from a single hit. He delivered them, welcomed them, and held on to the ball every time. So, I mean, Kenny, what more could you say about it except maybe Rhule made a mistake for a starter?
Wow. I don't know. I mean, of course, we've seen what Sims has done the first 2 games with the turnovers. And you see a difference in a game with minimal turnovers to none, how it flows better. You can get stuff done in regards to running your offense. But I mean, it wasn't a perfect game, but it was a lot better than what we've seen. So, like I said, I don't know how they were performing in camp. Sims could be their guy, and they might go back to him, but who knows? I mean, to me, it's a telltale all of what you think of your backups, et cetera, like we spoke about last week. So we'll see what they go with. Sims is their guy. They're going to go with him regardless. It's just how it is sometimes. It's their call. So we'll see. But I think the quarterback played well enough to get the right to start this upcoming game coming up. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Rhule saying before this game that the only reason for the quarterback change was the high ankle sprain on Sims. But this is tough for him. He's going to really have to go back and look at this because, in my opinion, that's the most efficient I've seen the offense through 2 games. So,
Mhm.
what worries me a little bit, though, is now that quarterback situation kind of got cleared up a little. We started noticing some chinks in the offensive line now. And so once that quarterback play got cleaned up, now we get to look and see where there's some other issues. And offensive line still has them. Pass pro was a little shaky. Run blocking through that first half, it was tough. It was tough sledding by far. It took body blows all game for that offensive line to finally wear. And that's what worries me. They start getting into the tougher competition again. Those gentlemen are going to be just as conditioned as they are. So
Yeah.
they're not going to be able to pound on them. So they got to figure it out.
Yeah, man. There's just so many angles I can say stuff about everything. And it reason I say that, and the reason I say certain things is because I don't think people understand. The days of Nebraska football are running the ball with those super duper dominant linemen are over.
Yep.
It's over, people. Stop expecting it. Stop thinking you're going to see that. It's no more. We will have solid linemen in. We will get decent linemen in. We'll get okay linemen in. But the physicality of the game played in the trenches on Nebraska and is just not the same. We are not a 90% running team anymore.
Yep.
Our practices back then were strictly for the linemen. There was a reason we were in pads and had pads on Monday and full pads on Tuesday and Wednesday. It wasn't for the skill positions. It was for the linemen. It was for them and their pass protection and their blocking schemes and their angles and this and that. Something we hated on the outside. Why are we in pads? Because the linemen have to do about their stuff. So, you know what I mean? It was just like, receivers and all. We're like, why are we in pads? We're not in the trenches like that. We know how to block and stop block. So you're going to have those misses and gaps in the offensive line. You just have to play around it. But yeah, you did see certain things but it wasn't like we were just getting blown off the ball by the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Small things here, small things there. The running backs are going to have to figure out a way, as they did on occasion, to just hit that hole and go. It comes down. Now it comes down to hitting it and going.
Yeah.
No dancing around it. Don't expect the Grand Canyon once you get the handoff to be there for you to run through. It just is what it is, man. You know, I think there's a world we've been in, what we expect for our offense to be for a lot of years now, and we're not there. And I ask everybody, when is everybody, ever improperly English, I don't care. I'll ask everyone, when is the last time you can honestly look and say, we've had a Nebraska, what we're used to, traditional line?
Boy, Kenny,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would have to actually think, and I'm just not willing to yet. But if I had to throw a time out there, man,
After Coach Solis left and his boys were gone,
that's exactly
after
what I'm
that,
trying
that
to
was probably
think
the last
of.
time.
Yeah, 'cause when Callahan came in, Zach Taylor, man, he got pounded because he didn't have an offensive line.
Right.
So yeah, I would have to say probably like the last class with Dan Waldrop and Cody Vulcan, those guys. That might have been the last official pipeline.
Yep.
It has been forever.
Yep. That's why I said
And some of the highlights I got, Haarberg's passing, you'll get to see some of the pass protection going on, and it's good. It's a little shaky in some spots, but good pickup there on the outside and great sidearm to Billy Kemp.
Yeah, he threw that. That was the key to that play right there.
That is one thing I
threw a
noticed about
sidearm
Haarberg.
to avoid the guy in front of him.
Beautiful too.
Mm-hmm.
It really was. It was right on the money. And look, can we thank Patrick Mahomes for that? Because I mean, seriously, the sidearm thing wasn't all that big until he started doing it a lot.
Yeah, they started shunning it. I think Vinny Testaverde or Kosar, one of them, threw sidearm the entire time. I think Tim Couch, whatever his name, from Kentucky, threw a lot of sidearm balls. It's good for when you use it in the right situation. You know, you get it around that guy, and like I said, a lot of guys seen Patrick Mahomes doing it. Sometimes it's instinctive, and that was a good throw because the guy would have batted it down if he threw it over the top.
Exactly, and I think that's what I started to notice was Haarberg does throw more sidearm than overhand, but it seemed to really benefit him because he really didn't throw a whole lot over the middle, but when he did, it was finally overhand. So you can see that he's consciously making that adjustment in order not to get the pass batted down.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and his drop back looks great. And see, like there, the pass protection up the middle. This play, though, he has a defender on his back, pulling him out of bounds, and he gets that to Fedoni. And Fedoni, what a hell of a catch by him to get a foot down. And, man, Fedoni finally coming on big. I mean, we're going to talk about him soon because he made a great gesture after his touchdown pass that saw some things on Twitter, which we're going to have to skip Husker Twitter today. I couldn't quite get to it because of no phone. By the way, the phone's still in Vegas, people. That thing's long gone, so forget it. I'll never see that phone again. But, Husker Twitter is going to have to take a week off. I couldn't quite put it together, a little under the weather. Just didn't quite get to it, but we'll get to Fedoni. But Haarberg, I mean, even this pass right here, this was amazing. Granted, a lot of the work done there by Bullock himself, but once again, the timing Haarberg had on that pass, the accuracy he had, it all played the role in that being a big play. Granted, the penalty flag there at the end for one of our linemen getting a little too.
Yeah, I saw him hit the guy at the end. So
yeah, a little too. And he tried playing it off like I couldn't hear the whistle. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
that play was clearly over, Scott. Come on.
Wow.
I mean, it didn't hurt anyway in the long run. We still ended up punching it in, but
right. Well, I mean that was a good throw. It was in and out. sometimes as a quarterback, you have to get the ball in your hand. As soon as it's in your hand, you have to get it out. The screenplays and stuff like that, you don't want to wait. And Bullock did a great job with the run. And he tried to even took the contact, tried to lower his shoulder a little bit. So that was
Yeah,
a
he
good
kind of
thing.
got stuck kind of high on that one. That could have
Yeah.
been a horrible tackle.
Oh, yeah.
Great
So
job by the other receivers on that play as well, kicking blocks out, and that's what opened up that hole. It gave Bullock the time and the room to get through there. So, and
right.
like we said, Haarberg also doing it on the ground, 2 yards shy of putting up 100 on the ground. And this right here, the touchdown run he had with 8.5 minutes left in the game. What a fake, because I was even faked out on that.
Yeah, 97 was lost. The defender was
No,
lost when
that
he
poor
did
guy
that. So
lost his jock somewhere along in between that hash there.
but that's how you're
Yeah,
supposed to do it. You're supposed to stick the ball in there and ride it out and then pull it out last minute to do the
exactly.
RPO. So that was executed very well.
Yeah, to me, it seems like once Haarberg knew he was getting the nod, he grabbed that bull by the horns, wrestled it to the ground, and decided to make some steak because he looked pretty damn good last night, I've got to
Yeah.
say.
It's the difference when you're getting all the reps.
Yep. And talking
It's a big
about
difference.
Fedoni, and of course, this was a great play to Fedoni over the middle. Great play fake, great vision by Haarberg, and that right there, the gesture by Fedoni, telling all his so-called critics to keep their damn mouth shut. And rightfully so. This young man's gotten so much shit for being injured. He's been injured almost his entire career here, which is nothing he can help, nothing that he can do anything about. And people are giving him shit that he hasn't produced. No shit, people. If you're not on the field and you can't be on the field, you can't produce. Let's just be happy the young man stuck around and stuck this out.
Yeah, I totally agree. But then it's double-edged sword. I understand. One, they shouldn't be on him because he's been injured. We know that. It's been well documented. But I think a lot of them are looking at all the hype and praise he was receiving coming in about how he was this next great, next big thing, and then you can't get on the field.
Yeah.
Or you're not on the field, you're always injured.
Yeah.
So I get it, but they need to understand that sometimes injuries just happen and there's nothing you can do. Some people just have that bad luck.
Yeah.
With injuries. And it's unfortunate, but I was glad he made the catch. The one catch on the sideline was excellent. You think with his catch radius and his size, that was a good catch and able to get the foot down. And then the touchdown where he leaked, and if you look at the linebackers, totally went left, and he was just pretty much running sideways, doing a hip drill warm up when you do the sideways knees to get to pull the other one up to get to the end zone because no one was around him. So I understand what he was going through. He's probably dealing with a lot of emotions, and he's hurt and listened to all of the stuff about himself. And he did that, to say, hey, be quiet. So I respect it.
Exactly. I'd love to see some of those keyboard warriors get out there after the same injuries he's had.
Right. So
they couldn't do it. There's no way they could do it. I guarantee it. All right, running back stable. They looked pretty damn decent as well. I mean, as we said, there was some tough sledding out there. Sometimes the O-line didn't quite get some run blocking going, maybe didn't open some holes. They were body blows all game long. Second half, they really took over. Irvin Jr. taking 14 carries for 67 yards and a touchdown. Then you had Grant with 7 carries and 46 yards and a touchdown. And that touchdown run he had, that was beautiful. He kind of got lost in all the mayhem in the middle and just saw the hole to the left, bounced it out, and that was all she wrote. And I believe that may have concluded the scoring for the night, or maybe Haarberg's was. I'm not sure. But Irvin did look good. Great job on a screen pass he had from Haarberg in the first half of the game. Grant had limited carries. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I understand why. I really do. But at the same time, I'm starting to wonder about Ramir because he was used, but he wasn't quite getting anything out of it. At the same time, offensive line wasn't getting much of a push. So, I mean, it kind of sucked not to put Ramir in this graphic for stats because the offensive line just couldn't help him out, and he just couldn't shake anybody when he had the ball. So, running backs, though, Irvin and Grant, I mean, what would you say looking at those stats there, Kenny?
I thought they did all right. They had a couple of decent runs where they got some decent yardage on. It was steady. It was pounding ground. I think we're used to, like I said, I keep going back to this. We're used to big runs with Nebraska football. So when we see these type of numbers, it's kind of like, oh, whatever. But this is probably normal in football games. Give and take 15, 20 carries, 80, 90 yards, 110 yards, around that amount. So I thought they had a solid game. They got what they were able to get in the run game at times. So it opens up the passing game. So it did a little something with that where he was able to get the passes off. So I thought it was solid. I can't knock it.
I'd have to agree. I mean, like you said, being spoiled for all those years, seeing 60, 70, 80-yard runs just busted off at least 2 times a game. Those days are long gone, but we do have guys that are capable of doing it now. Now, we have seen Irvin may not have quite that breakaway speed. He does get caught from behind, but
Mm-hmm.
once he gets through there, I mean, go ahead and get in front of him. I dare you. It's going to hurt. That young man's going to hurt you. And
Yeah, it's like a truck.
none of them shy away from contact anymore.
Right, which is good, which is what you want from your running backs.
Yeah,
You
not your
create the
quarterback.
sometimes you have to create the contact. Well, in this offense, not your quarterback, but old Nebraska offense, quarterbacks create contact as well. So, we shouldn't be surprised, but we are surprised, but it should be expected. But then, hey, we're running totally different offense, so I understand. But yeah, he dropped his shoulder. But that's what they need to do, create the contact.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
like, did you see the kid from LSU when he ran over create the contact?
Well, and last year against Purdue, that poor young man that Grant knocked out on the sideline.
Did you see the kid from South Florida against Alabama create the contact going through the hole?
No, I didn't. I tried to watch as much of that game as I could. I was rooting for South Florida.
It was something. Pow! Put him on his back.
Man. Yeah, Bama does not look like Bama.
You know when Alabama's struggling, it's whenever they don't have a quarterback that they can just lean on. They look the same. In the years, I think the one quarterback names was Sims at one time. I think after the one guys that they didn't do, and I think Jalen Hurts came in the next year and took over something. So whenever they don't have a quarterback to let them do what they want, they look like this.
I don't mean to talk about Bama on a Husker podcast, but
I don't care about Bama.
Neither do I. It's just I would like to see the downfall start. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of people are talking about Saban being this his last year. Like, there's rumors.
That dude ain't going nowhere.
He's in his 70s.
That dude ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, he's getting paid a lot. Would you?
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Not keeping. I know I'm going to keep getting kids every year. Nope. Absolutely not.
Yeah, it is weird to see them struggle against South Florida yesterday. So I mean, when they were up 3-0 through almost the majority of that first half, I was like, "Go Bulls!" All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So, running back stable did look decent. I mean, if you put the carries and the yardage together for one guy, that's a solid day. That's a very solid day. I mean, you're looking at well over 100 yards there. You're looking at 2 touchdowns. you're having a great day as a running back. But unfortunately, they split the time, but they made the most of their time.
Mhm.
So that's the thing I can really hang my hat on is, and again, the soft spot, number 22 for running backs. I don't know what it is that number just looks so damn good. It just makes him that much better. I don't know why. Just saying, Rex Burkhead was great here, but gets to the NFL now wearing a 22. It's a little
Rex.
tougher. Just saying, man. Come on, Rex. Get that 22, man. Get in the Hall of Fame.
That's
All
hilarious.
right. We'll go on to the receivers. Receivers actually had a good day. It really got spread around. I only pulled up the 3 leading receivers we had, and that was, 4. That was obviously Fedoni had his 4 catches for 42 yards, averaging over 10 yards a catch there with 1 touchdown. Washington, right away, I believe it was the first pass of the game from Haarberg. I think it was
the one in the middle.
Yep, 20-some yard gain right off the bat. Washington ends up with 2 catches, 37 yards. Then, of course, Bullock with his 1 catch for 33 on that little screen. And then Billy Kemp starting off the day with a touchdown, but it really only ended up with 3 catches and 13 yards, and then that touchdown on the opening drive of the game. So, not horrible. Haarberg really spread it around. There were some drops out there, though, and a couple were by Fedoni. So, I mean, it was good to see Haarberg still had the confidence in his guys. He didn't care if they dropped it, went back to him, said, you get the next one, and these guys did. They came up big when Haarberg really needed them. So, I mean, your specialty position, Kenny, what would you have to say about just the 3 or 4 guys on that screen there?
I thought they played well. I thought it was okay. Of course, I would like to see more deep, long touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's what's missing from this offense.
No
What you
deep
saw
threat.
what Trey Palmer was able to do last year, get open and get those touchdowns in the year before with Toure. So it did well. I thought Tommy Hill would have had one. I think it was overthrown, the one he dove for.
Yep. If he could have dove, if he would have dove, he might have got it.
And if he would have dropped that in, he could have possibly scored. Have been a good throw.
I think they said Tommy Hill's the fastest guy on the squad. I think
he had another one over the middle. Tommy Hill was wide open. If he would have hit him, he could have went for 6. But overall, solid, man. It was a solid, okay performance. Not overwhelming, not underwhelming. Where you were just like, okay, I see the stuff we can work on here. I see the stuff we can work on there. Type of game. And being honest, I didn't watch it until this morning.
I don't. Hey, that's
before
fine.
Before the podcast, I don't. No more Saturdays for me. No more Nebraska football on Saturdays for me.
Oh man,
I want to enjoy my Saturdays. I've had enough.
I wish I could do that, Kenny. I really do. There are days I wish I could just do that.
It's easy for me. I just hit record and I'll watch it in the morning before the podcast. I will not ruin any more Saturdays. I've ruined enough, so I'm over it. I literally watch it on fast. I don't need to watch it in slow motion. I turn the game on, I hit the forward, and I watch the game. So that game, that was 2.5 hours or whatever, literally took me 45 minutes to watch, 40 minutes to sit through. And I took a couple breaks in between. Saw everything. It's like, oh, okay, they could have did this there. Keep going. Just let it play. Oh, we're punted. Oh, we got sacked. Oh, we got sacked. Oh, yeah. So,
now, as far
stress level down.
As far as non-player related things, the only thing I have to talk about, because it was on Twitter, what the hell was wrong with Rhule? Okay. I don't know how to put this. Like,
they said he was licking his lips or something.
Dude,
like his mouth was dry.
That's an understatement. Like, look, I know there are side effects to nose candy, and that's one of them. that was one of the things I started saying about right around halftime. I'm like, did he do something before the game? Because that tongue has not stayed in his mouth for more than 5 seconds at a time.
Dude must have had a nervous tick or something. Who knows?
He had to have, because I kept begging them to not put the camera on him. He couldn't stop. It looked like a special needs person.
Oh,
It
poor fella.
If you still have the game on your DVR, Kenny, just go back and stop it when they've got the camera on. Rhule. It is unreal. You almost think that this is a gag, like he was doing it on purpose, but I don't know. Like I said, I would assume not only players have piss tests, but I would assume coaches probably do too. So
maybe my man had a tick he couldn't get over with or get past or something. Who knows? I'll have to check it out, man. I saw it on Twitter. Like I said, I'm off it. I'm off it. So that me going on Twitter was sparingly. Like I said, I'm not gonna be on there doing the games. I'll watch the games the next day. So I pretty much had a peaceful day. But when I got on there, I did see some stuff. Man. I was like, maybe I'll see it when I watch it. But then when I watched the game, I wasn't looking for it. So I'll have to look and see. Oh, wow. Yeah. It's hilarious.
It kind of was. And thank God we won that game. Otherwise, I guarantee that would be something people would be jumping on him about today.
Maybe Buddy was dehydrated or something. Who knows? Maybe he needs some Carmex or something. Or some chapstick.
Had sandpaper in his mouth or something. I don't know.
Hey, maybe he took some type of antibiotic that gave him cotton mouth. Who knows?
There you go. A simple explanation. You know, it's a lot better than mine.
Some stuff gives you cotton mouth. I have one that gives me cotton mouth. I have to have water by the bed at night so I can drink something. Well,
yeah. So maybe there's a simple explanation. Maybe he's got a medical condition of a dry mouth we don't know about, and I don't. It just didn't look great.
Maybe it was a pill, man. I'm gonna go with that one. Like I said, I have one I had to take, which is a nerve pill, which is actually an antidepressant. I'm not depressed, trust me. It was something they gave me, unfortunately, when I got shingles, and I got it on my face. So I got it. So it affected, of course, all the nerves that it attached. My eye was bloodshot red because it affects the nerves in the eyes. So the nerves, because they aren't healed, because it's nerve damage, they still fire in my face, and sometimes I'll get the burn. So when it really starts flaring up, I'll take it at time when I go to sleep. Now it makes me extremely drowsy, and it's not. But one of the side effects is it dries your mouth out extremely. So maybe he took something that has him like that, man. So that's what I'm going with. Yeah, that's what we'll go with.
I like that. That sounds a hell of a lot better than what I was thinking. So yeah. That's way better. That's all I'll say about that, because I guarantee there's not a single person that watched that game that did not notice that. It was impossible to miss.
Dang.
Like I said, by the end of that first half, I'm just like, quit putting the camera on him.
They probably did it intentionally.
I think they were toward the end. Because when he was talking, it wasn't happening, obviously. But yeah, if he wasn't talking to somebody, holy hell, that tongue was lashing like he was in the red light district in Amsterdam, dude.
Oh, get it, buddy. Go.
Oh, he was.
Won't get his tongue back doing something like that over there.
Tell you what, he might have a very happy wife after last night.
It'll be disintegrated.
Good Lord. All right, but yeah, I had to bring that up just because that was the weirdest shit I'd ever seen out of a head coach. And thank God we won.
Yeah.
Now, might as well bring up the brightest spot of the whole season so far, and that would be the black shirts, man. I mean, that's why I wore the jersey today, the hat. You can, I'll point it over here. There we go. The black shirts are over here. Look, they did great last week, recording 8 sacks. This week, recording another 3, only allowing 149 total yards, 123 through the air, 26 on the ground, and an INT to boot. Should have been 2.
Yeah.
He got that one. I don't care what anyone says. That toe got down.
Quentin Newsom, the one on the sideline.
That toe got down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they couldn't overturn that, but great effort by the Black Shirts. I mean, granted, yes, we could say the quality of the opponent and everything, but this is nothing new that we've seen out of the Black Shirts in the 2 previous games. They are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They're doing their job. They're making me feel better about a 3-3-5 defense because we obviously have the personnel to run it. So, I mean, this defense, are the Black Shirts back, Kenny? Oh shit.
They played well. You know, I've been praising them as far as their play this year. You've heard me in previous podcast episodes we've done when they play well. I give them their just due, and they played well this year. Like I said, they played well against Colorado, they played well against Minnesota, and they played well against Northern Illinois. What's the biggest difference? I'm going to say this, and people can tell me if I'm wrong, right or wrong. The biggest difference between this year and previous years is what I've been asking for, and you know what that is, Brian. Pressure on the quarterback.
Yep.
We were not getting pressure on the quarterback to put them in uncomfortable situations over the last couple of years. And, you know, that was my thing. We need to get there and put pressure on the quarterback. That totally alters the game. And one of the biggest things that I appreciate seeing them doing is tackling.
Yep.
It's tackling.
Open field tackles, not missing that shit.
Yeah, tackling. Before and prior, we were doing a lot of bad angles, taking a lot of bad angles, or tackling, missing tackles we should have made, etc. But the defenses played really well. And shout out to my nephew, Buddha Wright, Javen, on the pick. That's dope.
Yes, sir. Got that for you right here, Kenny.
Yeah, and that's real dope.
I knew I could pull this up for you.
So, believe it or not, good people, I used to put that dude in his car seat sometime when me and his dad would go work out. Remember, the dude was born when he was in Pampers and all of that. And Toby was like, man, he's going to be a big boy. And I'm like, yeah, he's kind of thick. And dude, he ended up being a big boy. So, you know, that was dope to see. His uncle was there, which was cool. And his family, which was my high school teammate, Craig Spann, who went to ASU, played receiver, who's has 2 sons being recruited at receiver, Justice Spann. And they're taking in the Husker volleyball game today. I just told him it's an experience and it's different, isn't it? He was like, bro, I had no idea. He's like, this is crazy. So, you know, they got to see their nephew, him and his wife, Terry, see him get his interception, his very first interception at their first Nebraska game, which is cool.
I'm telling you, that play too. I mean, he went up and got that. I mean, it's not like he was in position to get that pick. He goes up and gets that thing. And he's falling back as he's going up too. So, hell of a play by Wright there. Loved it. Like I said, Newsom should have gotten the other pick. That toe was down. Nobody's going to convince me otherwise. I don't care. And the other one I wanted to pull up, as far as they got credit for this sack, but this is coverage right here. It really is. Lombardi's got nowhere to go with it. He's thinking about running, and Hutmacher cuts that lane off. Unbelievable. I mean, like you said, they're getting pressure, and then at the same time, they're taking away those lanes now. We saw in the first couple games that the middle would leave some lanes open. That's throughout each game that has started to already correct itself to where they're clamping down those holes. They're shutting that down, making sure the quarterback's not going to beat them with their legs. And this defense has just completely exceeded all my expectations for this year already. And we're only 3 games in, and they lost the first 2.
But it wasn't because of them.
No. They did everything they could. They've done everything they could in every game. You really could not ask any more of these guys. If you did, you're an asshole.
A stinky one.
Very much so. You didn't wipe. You're just a nasty ass,
Yep. Yeah, man. So that's why I said I couldn't as for watching them, I couldn't nitpick at the little stuff. Let's say like we didn't get the pressure on the quarterback against Minnesota, then they got the touchdown when the guy made the super great catch with the foot. Or them shutting Colorado down, then us having the turnovers, putting them in bad situations where they're having short field to defend. Couldn't say anything about that. And then eventually being tired from being on the field and wearing down, then giving up the big plays. Wears down. I can't really nitpick at them for anything because the offensive side of the ball wasn't helping. This game, we helped. We had some sustainable drives, some plays. We scored, and the defense was a little fresher. Yeah. They were able in there to maintain to get those, put the pressure on. But it's all about pressure. It's all about up front. That was my concern with whatever defense. What is it? 3-5, whatever, 3? I don't know.
Yep, 3-3-5.
Yeah, whatever, dude. My only concern was getting pressure. But sometimes it looks like they're in a 4-4. You know what I mean? It's when they bring the people up to the line.
They have pulled up into a 4-4. I believe they've done a 5-2.
Yeah. So, I mean, by the way it looks like it's versatile enough to go into those different formations defensively if you have the appropriate personnel on there. But I just shout out to the defense, man. They played well.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, the two highlights I've got here, this is after that turnover from Haarberg. This is 1st and goal from the 5, and they dropped them for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. And once again, 3rd and goal from the 4. And this is where Lombardi just had nowhere to go and pretty much fell on his own ass. He sacked himself.
Yeah, the sniper got him.
That's what it looked like too. It did look like he got shot because he fell back.
It just fell backwards.
It was so weird. But great job by that defense, getting put in a situation like that where 5 yards and they score, and you push them back and hold them to a field goal. It really could have changed a whole lot of that game. A momentum could have swung right there had they scored. And we've seen that happen.
Yeah. Yeah,
irritating
absolutely.
As it is. God, that shit's irritating.
Yeah, man, it's something.
Here we are, Kenny. I think we're only like 40 minutes in. We've already discussed almost the entire game. This is what happens.
It's a lot easier when you win. Yeah.
It's a lot easier when you win. We could joke. We can laugh. We could talk about Rhule might have done some nose candy before the game. I don't know.
Yeah, you got less stuff to critique and go nuts about. I mean, shit. Excuse my language.
The only thing to critique and actually think about as far as next week goes now is quarterback situation. It really is. I don't envy Rhule in this situation at all.
Let me get this off my chest real quick. Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
We have a kicker.
Yes. Yes, we do.
And you know how I feel about the last couple years about kickers. I don't even want to put that face I'm making now on the screen. You know how I feel about the kickers. All the way from the dude with the frumpy leg kickoff was at Ohio State when he fell. Just ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
And you know how I've been feeling about kickers the last couple years. But I'm going to come back up with a nice smiley face now. We have a kicker.
Not just a kicker. We have a punter.
I feel so
one that can flip a field.
Yeah. No stress on the field goals. No stress on the field goals. But extra points like, is this going to go in or what?
Yeah. It is nice. It sucks for kickers because if they're not being talked about, it's a good thing. But if they are being talked about, it's never good.
Say, bro, you got one job. Kick the ball. You're not out there hitting. hey, your bones and muscles are fresh after every game. You're not in the cold tub. What you in the cold tub for? Kicking in the net? Come on.
Look
Man.
at yesterday. Missouri's kicker, Mavis, nails
61
a
yards.
61-yarder to beat K-State at the end of regulation. I mean, 61 yards. That's like Martin Gramatica, old K-State kicker type distance.
Oh, that clown hurt himself with the Cardinals jumping
I
up and
remember
down.
that. I remember that. Yeah. Didn't he tear his ACL?
Goofball. But
Martin
yeah, man.
Gramatica.
Yeah, man. Be a football player, man. Kickers, be a football player. Did you see what Buffalo kicker did against the Jets?
No.
That half whatever tackle he tried to make on the
cover? Yeah, I did.
Hey, Chris Brown and Josh Brown will blow you up. Chris Brown was definitely. Chris was going to blow you up. Chris played DB. Chris was going to blow you up. He was going to hit you. Chris wanted all the smoke. Ooh. Yeah, man. Yeah,
I didn't realize Chris could hit like that.
Oh yeah, Chris was vicious. Chris wanted all the smoke. Yeah, absolutely. Chris was no joke.
And here's the funny part. My wife and I were watching. We like a week ago started going through all the old Jackass movies, and I think it was Jackass 3. Josh Brown is in that for one of the skits. And I forget the old defensive lineman for the Vikings. He always used to do the rope the cattle thing when he'd get a sack.
Big boy. I know you're talking about. Yeah, I know. Yeah. DN.
What the hell is his name? I just watched this.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know you're talking
he was in there too. So Johnny Knoxville takes a hit from him, but the big fat dude, I forget his name right off the top of my head. He takes a line drive kick from Josh Brown that was supposed to hit him, here, the stomach. He drilled him in the face. And he's only standing maybe 5 yards away. Dude. Like Preston, that was the guy he hit. He dropped him like a bad habit. And I mean, Josh kicked this thing so hard. I thought I couldn't believe he didn't break a nose, but he hit him off in the cheek. And I think he knocked a filler loose. He messed Preston up, dude. I mean,
rattled those molars.
Dude, he got blasted, and it was hilarious. And I just started laughing because it was one of our former kickers. I was like, damn, dude, take it easy.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I was like, oh, that had to hurt so bad. Like I said, I don't have any Husker Twitter to pull up. I mean, as far as Husker Twitter goes, it was pretty much positive last night. A lot of it was about Haarberg. And the tough choice that Rhule is going to have to make now once Sims is healthy. And in my opinion, you go with the hot hand. This is not just me saying that Haarberg should be the starter, but he was the hot hand.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what you would think. That sounds the appropriate way to do it, but who knows what's going through his head?
Yeah.
It's just so many different things. Like I said, I got on Twitter a little bit yesterday and last night, and I just felt good game about the the CU-CSU game because I watched all the other games, 7 Nebraska. Because I'm like, let me just not have a day where I'm pissed. And I saw all the other stuff about. I saw some stuff. Oh, blah blah, but I kind of ignored it. But today, when I got on, I saw all of that stuff, and it's crazy, man. It's the fickleness, the fair weatherness of how some of these people can be is just amazing. And I personally think he should roll with the guy who started this week, especially if he's not 100%. That's just my take on it. But we're not the coach. He has in his mind who he wants to play. Um, for us, I think a lot of us, it'll be a shocker if he rolls with him, if Sims is available, because you've had the chance several times to put him in first 2 games.
Yep.
And you didn't. So, I mean, hey, let's just try to get more wins to see how we do and see how we go from this year. But hey, I'll have joyous Saturdays from this point forward. I reiterate, I will have joyous Saturdays. No
I
more.
agree. It's so much easier to talk about a game when you win. And hopefully next week we'll be doing the same thing. We got Louisiana Tech coming into town. I have watched a little bit of them this season already. Not going to say this should be an easy win, but it should be a win. As long as we play like we did against Northern Illinois, I think we'll be all right. As long as that defense just keeps showing up, giving that offense a chance, for God's sake, I think we'll be all right.
Hopefully. I mean,
got
I really hope so.
I do. We got basically, if we could look at Louisiana Tech as a warm-up game, and I know we should not say that at all, especially with the teams we've had lately.
No, don't do that. How would else? We're the warm-up for some of these people.
If we can treat it as a way to iron out some more wrinkles, really clean the things up on the offensive line, we could be talking about some serious shit the week after when Michigan comes calling.
Shit.
That's going to be, to me, that's the measuring stick for our defense right there.
Yeah, because they're going to run it.
Yep.
They're going to come at you.
They held out as long as they could with Colorado.
No, they're going to run the ball. Haarberg is going to run the ball.
Yep.
He did it at Stanford. He just happened to have an exceptional quarterback there. But he's going to run the football.
Yeah.
He's coming. They're coming. I mean, Michigan hasn't been let me stop speaking properly. Been something where you say, oh my God, it's just explosive. But you know what's coming.
I can't wait.
It's hard, B. It's hard for me to just.
For you, it's got to be worse than it is for me. You're a former player.
It's just hard because I just, my expectations are different than a lot of people, and people, like I said before, tend to take what we say as, oh, wow, we're not support. We are support. We just have different expectations and different things we want to see. And like Dan said, and I've said before, we want to win now. We want us to do well now. We have to stop the what is it? Hakuna Matata. happy, joy, in a couple years stuff, because we've heard that. We're tired of it. Former players are tired of it. You're going to get the guys who say what a lot of you want to hear because they don't want to get harassed, but we're tired of it. We want to see winning now. We need to cut out the excuses and put on our big boy pants, lace them up, and get active and get it done. You know what I'm saying? Too much negating what another team is when our losses that we had, and we've done it in the past. Oh, like with Minnesota. Oh, but they did it. No. Same thing with Colorado. Oh, but this and that. No. TCU wasn't. No. That's just making an excuse to cover up. And I've heard that. We've heard that for years. You get what I'm saying? So for me personally, I just want to see more. Like I said, my expectations are higher than the average person. Otherwise, it's a failure to me. So we celebrate this win, yes, but we're happy they won. Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yep.
But people need to understand we're at the point where we're celebrating one win.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a damn
against
shame.
Northern Illinois.
Yeah, and that's a damn shame that we we're at this point with Nebraska football. It's crazy. This is it's depressing and it's crazy. And it's sad. And
it could be worse. We could be
and
Colorado fans.
And I'm saying this when I'm happy they won. You know what I mean? And it's still sad because we're celebrating one win.
Yep. Like I said, we could be Colorado fans and storm the field after beating 2 unranked teams.
You got to do it. You got to do it. I mean, hey, I hate to see you, but I'm Dion. So it's crazy, but they've sucked. They sucked.
Yeah.
They've sucked. They've really sucked. And I'm like, damn. But those guys are running the field because they suck. The Nebraska run on the field was Nebraska.
Yeah.
Now the Colorado State is it's a rival. They shouldn't have did that. But I mean, I get it because it's Colorado State and the trash talking, the hype going up to it, but we suck. Our fans never rush the field, really, because how it's situated. One is one and too far back. Yeah. You gotta.
It was 2015 when we beat undefeated Michigan State in Lincoln on a controversial
end zone catch stuff, push off type stuff. Yeah.
But no fans rushed the field for that one, and if any time it was called for, it was then.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. We'll see. I just hopefully Colorado's on their way. I don't like talking about them, but I'm gonna watch because of Dion, because I'm a Dion fan. And the momentum they're getting with the national pub. I mean, it's hard, man, because I tell everybody, Nebraska fans, think about this. We got all that attention when Scott Frost got the head coach and job in Lincoln. Now he didn't have all the other. He didn't have the other stuff because he wasn't Deion Sanders taking no prime. But we got the same attention.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Nebraska on the Scott Frost. Oh, Nebraska on the Scott Frost. And you guys bought into it. Bought into oh, Frosty Warning, Frosty this, Frost, and to people like me and others, former players, like, this is disgusting. That stuff's annoying. So the same stuff that's annoying, y'all think about what Dion got going on is how we thought about when Coach Frost was hired. This is over the top. Same thing we think with Coach Rhule. This is over the top. Until we're over 9 wins a game, be quiet.
Yeah, shut up.
We don't want to hear it. And my thing with Colorado, I hate Colorado. Let's be clear. They can suck. Whatever.
You can say it, Kenny. You can say it.
Not mine, but somebody else and everybody else's. And go to the blue. They can go to the Blue Oyster off Police Academy and suck everybody, whatever. But the point being is, let's keep their name out of your mouth because it looks horrible. It looks like jealous and envy.
Yeah, it does.
Nebraska fans and former players are talking about Colorado in the form of it looks like jealousy and envy, and it's not a good look. You can tell I don't like
him next year.
Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like what he's doing with that. I don't like his son. He's been the same man for damn near 40 years since we've first seen him on the stage in 84, 85. Been the same person.
That's something I should tell any Husker fan. If you're still posting stuff about Colorado and Deion Sanders or anything that has to do with that program, stop. Our game's over.
Yeah, we played him. We lost. Take the L. Move on. Stop worried about what he's doing or what his kids are, because you weren't worried at Jackson State. That's my whole thing. When he was at Jackson State, you weren't worried. You are keeping a team that was 1-11 in your mouth because they have this man. You're giving him more credence and relevance than anybody or anything that he's doing. Stop. It looks like you're jealous. It looks like you're envious. You're critiquing this man's program. And I said it last year when he was hired, and people were like, oh, what you think Colorado? I said, why are y'all concerned with what Colorado's going to do?
Yeah.
Stop. Focus on Nebraska. We got our own crap to deal with. We were 3 games better? 2 games better? A couple years better? So stop. Let's worry about us. Focus on us. Leave them alone. They're done until next year.
That's right. We'll worry about that next year.
Some of you have taken all your focus on Iowa and put it on Colorado for no reason. You ain't thought about Colorado in years.
Nope.
So stop. We need to focus on us, wish our team well, support our team well, criticize our team when they're not doing well, and appreciate them and give them the credit when they're doing well. That's what being true fandom is. The right to critique your team when they're not playing well and not be labeled as you're not supportive. No, I'm honest.
Yeah.
And that's what we need more of. We played like ish today. We sucked. We should have won that game. You know, it's not negative vibes. It's the truth. Sometimes what you think is negative is the truth.
Yep.
We should be 3-0. That's the truth. But we're not. We're 1-2. And it's just my rant because I think people need, I think we all need to understand this. This shit, and you know I try not to cuss them, it's gonna hurt what I say. This is really gonna hurt. Stop talking as if we're this big dog because we're not. Stop tweeting like we're this big dog because we're not.
Yeah.
Stop walking around like this big dog because we're not. And the worst part of this, of what I'm about to say, is we are a program that is a once was. We are a has been. And that shit hurts.
Yep.
Because what we always say, well, not me, what people tend to always say, oh, we used to, we once, that's the once was.
That word.
That's over with, guys. So stop belittling programs, other programs who were in that same situation. Because a lot of them have come out of it. When I see you attack Tennessee, how's Tennessee been the last couple of years? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We some of you all attack these teams and they're doing better than us. And we are a once was.
Yep.
So stop and realize who we are. We are a program that is rebuilding, trying to rebuild again.
Yeah.
To where we can get back to being respectable, respected, and winning at a clip that we deem is Husker worthy. And I'm just saying that because, you know, I read it and I'm like, oh, here we go. You know, just the Colorado stuff and this and that. Stop talking.
Yeah.
Like we're that. We're not that. Like I said, it's always going to be Colorado. And I said that silently with the F. All caps. You get it.
That was well done. That almost looked like I edited that out.
But you know what I mean? But we need to stop talking about these teams like we're that. We're not. In proper English, we ain't. We're the once been. We're the has been. We're the once was. Let's get out of that category. Let's get back to winning. 9+ wins a year. Let's get back to when we have losses, they were close. Not like with the last couple seasons when they were close. But in the big games, or winning those, playing for conference championships with potentially a chance to go to the national championship. And that's what I want to see. So like I always tell people, you hear me, Brian, this is a rant, but it's just the truth. I'm not going to say what you want me to say. I'm not going to be old roses and floop-de-doos and rainbows. And
that's why I wanted you doing this with me.
Yeah, I'm not going to give the people that. I'm going to tell you the truth. And the truth is, we need to get that dog back in us. And unfortunately, in us current state, we are a laughing stock because we're so majority of the time we're the loudest in the room. We're the loudest in the off season, and we haven't done jack shit.
Yep.
So let's turn this around. Hopefully they turn this around. Hopefully the new coaching staff turns it around. You know, I'm always going to be supportive, but I'm gonna call a spade when I see it. You know, and it is what it is. And right now, we're vastly improved with tackling defensively.
Yeah.
We get the turnovers minimized on offense. We'll be okay. But the end game to me is 9+ wins. Not this year because I don't expect it.
No.
But going forward, this and that. No more. We're waiting to build, wait and see. We waited and saw since Bo Pelini was going 9+ wins a year. So just my 2 cents.
I absolutely have to agree because even though I'm as much of a diehard as I am, always guzzling Kool-Aid. When I know things aren't right, I
Gotta
just
call it up.
shut up.
That's it.
Because what can I say? Well, there's nothing you can say because somebody's going to fire right back at you and they're going to be right and it's going to hurt twice as hard.
Exactly.
So what's the point in talking any shit whatsoever unless you've backed it up?
That's my point.
I have been asked, why isn't the Husker Army more active on Twitter? Well, it's because I'm not going to say something stupid and then have somebody come at me and be absolutely correct.
Right.
I try to be positive, so I'm going to wait and say something positive.
Because that's you.
And be correct about what I'm saying.
Right.
I will research what I'm going to tweet.
That's why when you asked me, when you said, Ken, you can get access and do it and tweet, I was like, nah, bro, because it's really not going to be nothing for me to say. That'll be like, yeah. We'll be like, Because like you said, if people snap back at it, they're probably going to be right.
Exactly.
What's the rebuttal to that?
Yeah, I've shut a few people up on Twitter before because I threw a fact at them.
Yeah,
they never heard anything back from them again.
Yeah.
And it was here's the prime example one. It's right before the Colorado game, the week of. Somebody had put out there about all the horse shit we went through a season or two ago. The 3-9 team, the best 3-9 team in college football history. Well, some Colorado fan was giving us shit about it on Twitter. I said, yeah, that's funny. That's awesome. I seem to remember Colorado starting out 2019 5-0, and yet somehow you all missed a bowl game still that year.
Right.
That means y'all didn't win anything after the first 5 games. So shut up.
Right. And that's a fact.
Exactly. I didn't hear anything from that guy after that.
They can't say anything.
No, you can't.
They need to be quiet like they've been dominant over the last couple of years themselves. I can understand the wave and what you on right now. I get it. I can respect it. But stop talking like you've just been serving people up over the last couple of years. This is you got someone in there right now currently who's got some kids in there that's doing well, and they came back last night. They're going to have losses. I mean, let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Everybody knew that. I knew that. We know that. But like I tell people, for me who say, I look at big picture. I look at the impact, that's going to have with enrollment. I look at the impact of revenue. I think their first home game, they brought in $18 million.
Yeah.
To Boulder. I look at stuff like that. I look at what kids see. We're recruiting base because it's a different dynamic. They see it, they hear it, that's who he is, they know who he is. A lot of them all-time favorite player. It's an attract. They're going to be attracted to it.
Yeah.
People were attracted to Nebraska because of Coach Osborne and winning. Yep. And winning attracts a lot more than back then without all of the social media ways you can see stuff.
Yep.
Than anything. The man in himself with Coach Osborne and then winning. You know what I mean? So that's what we want to see. That's what we want to get back to. Winning will cure a lot of our ailments that we've had over these couple of years. You know what I mean? As a program, because kids want to go there, bowl games. Same discussion we had with Cluster. Winning will bring in and draw in what we're trying to get to be in position to compete and be respected again. So, that's why I said kudos to Deion and what he's got going in. I know he's a marketer. That's why it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? I know he's a marketer. Irks a lot of people, but that's him. It's marketing. He knows what he's doing. But when you sit down and listen and talk, it's strictly football. The marketing aspect is something else. But we just as Nebraska need to focus on Nebraska. Like we said, move past that. Move past Minnesota. Just like you move past Minnesota. Our infatuation with PJ Fleck, stop. He owns us recently, so stop.
Yeah.
Even our infatuation with Iowa. I mean, we're that little brother that you whoop right now, currently 27 times, and then he beat you in one game and talk shit. Our brothers are no. But I'm saying, our cousins do that, or somebody, a family member, you beat them 10 times and they beat you.
Oh, yeah, and they won't ever shut up about it.
Yeah, he like, dude, I really want to put hands on you, but I can't because you're only as good as your last game. So, and we lost, so we got to hold that. So, but I mean, just stop. Let's do this quietly. Let's celebrate the wins. Look at the losses, and then once we're back on top, we can start bumping our gums, as I call it, like we used to do, in the manner we used to do it. You know what I mean? But right now, we got to humble ourselves because we ain't that. We ain't that.
Oh, last thing I'll say about Colorado, and I won't say a damn thing about them till, well,
You heard me?
maybe the end of the year. If we happen to make a bowl game, yes, you're saying exactly what I want to say, Kenny. If we make a bowl game this year, Colorado makes a bowl game. While I was in Vegas, come to find out, the Las Vegas Bowl is going to be played at the new Allegiant Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And that bowl game will be played by a representative from the Big Ten and a representative from the Pac-12.
Let's get it.
Husker fans, maybe we get our damn revenge already this season. So shut up, focus on game to game, and let's just deal with it if it comes up.
Right.
If not, we'll kick the shit out of them when they come to Lincoln next year.
That's it.
Good Lord. All right. We'll call it good right there.
And that's my last time saying something about Colorado.
Amen to that. And I didn't even have to bleep anything. I love it. The man does it for me. God. All right. Well, everybody, we'll call it good right there. Get ready to shut her down. This point, I think it's pretty obvious where to find the show. Just go to YouTube, type in Husker Army Podcast. You'll find us. Google Husker Army Podcast. We pop right up. Audio only. You'll find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Buzzsprout, plenty more out there.
P-Hub.
I mean, yeah, for me, you're not going to really find me on social media. What you got there, Kenny?
I said on P-Hub.
P-O. You know, if things ever go really south.
OnlyFans.
Maybe my wife and I'll start an OnlyFans.
Find us on OnlyFans, Husker Army.
Start selling my pictures of my feet and shit.
Yeah, OnlyFans.
Good
Number
Lord.
6 is feet, OnlyFans. It's hamstring, OnlyFans. Left quad, right quad, OnlyFans.
Oh, God, the possibilities could be endless.
Oh,
Holy hell. Yeah, everybody, we'll just call it right there. And I think the way I'm just going to end this episode, there won't be any graphic, there won't be any music. I think since in honor of the first win for Rhule, Haarberg getting his first win as a starter, might as well just end the episode with the same clip that it started with. Because,
yes,
I mean,
sir.
Hey, who the hell doesn't love a little bit of Rudy music, man?
Let's go.
I'm just
Turn
saying.
the bass up. Turn
That's
the bass up.
All right, so Husker Army, stick around and check that out for the next 2 minutes if you enjoyed it at the beginning. So, for myself, Brian Knutson, for our other host, Kenny Cheatham, Mr. KC, Husker Army, you know what to do. At ease, and you are all dismissed.
2nd and 5 for Nebraska. Play action pass. Looking down the middle. Marcus Washington on the catch and a big gain. The first down for the Husker offense. Johnson and Kemp in the backfield. Haarberg. It's a pass. It's Kemp. Touchdown Nebraska.
Haarberg made great decisions with the ball in the run game and the pass game. You see Kemp, the hardest thing there is getting through that traffic. Some pressure showing right here.
Comes, set up the screen, it's open, slips through one, he's near the 50-yard line, first 3rd down pickup of the game. Haarberg from the 36, the blocking in front of him, pushed it to the outside, then dropped. Dave Farkasol able to bring him down.